No. Alright, so that's the date. That's the time. So, yeah. It was, I was waiting. Well, doing something else. Alright, I was eating a little mini candy bar, okay? Flip. And yes, I did work out today. It's a candy bar this big. You know, some people, feel like a nut. Some people don't. It's one of those little miniaturized, almond mounds things. A little almond in it, and coconut, and chocolate outside. Flipping amazing. Sitting there eating as slow as I could. Savor every taste. Flip, it was amazing. Amazing. Protect, but also attack. Oh yeah, we were digging. I don't know if I have any chocolate or anything on my face. I apologize. Let me just in case. Oh, it didn't look like it. Anyways, so I needed chocolate. It was an emergency, like a mass emergency. I could have died. Okay, so you know when people get like super angry and like things could happen, like kind of angry, like you could get so angry that possibly you could have a heart attack or you know some other strenuous thing like an aneurysm or whatever, you know. Hey, that could have happened if I did not, you know, treat myself with a little mini almond bar. Itty bitty little thing. It's a fun size. You know the stuff that you hand out like during Halloween? Ironically enough, yes, it was from Halloween. Some things, you know, oh, flip, 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 flip. Some things are a lot harder to... No, that wasn't what I was going to say. Here I am chastising myself. Like some things are a bit, what is the word? Flip. Okay, so. I think I might have accidentally kicked some stuff up with that last one. Alright, so, as I was trying to say before I went all holy F, lava, must stop everything, fix now, lava, holy F. But, yeah, so. I was talking about my Halloween candy. Some things don't change too much. It's not like I'm hiding the Halloween candy, but I am kind of I know where it is. Yeah, that's it. I just know where it is. I mean, it's always like 4 to 5 feet away from me, just right there in this little corner. And I haven't had any since maybe around Christmas. So before you just start judging me on a diet that I don't even have, how dare you? Sorry. Anyways, you people and your dirty diets. I'm not the healthiest I could be, I understand that, but considering what my options are to eat and how it's been till like flippin' wait, no, I think I might have had a few candy bars prior to. It was on my monthly, and I got really angry, and then someone told me that I wasn't allowed to have chocolate, and then I got really more angry, and so I ate 5 little mini bars. That was spite. I mean, I only wanted one, and then like it's like the whole no, you can't have that. And it's like, are you serious? And then it's like, fine, you can have one. And then I ate 6. I'm like, I was like, do you want to like meet that big scary thing in the sky? Do you want to? Because what the hell is that? But anyways. I hope my mic's working. It looks like the mic's working. I mean, it definitely looks like it's working. Alright. But anyways, I get quite agitated when certain things happen and I can't do anything about it. And when I'm told that I can't do something that is going to alleviate some of that and anger. Like, you know, an innocent chocolate bar. Yes, it's innocent until proven guilty. Like any other criminal in what is this called? America. I mean, I'm a hard believer of what is that called? Innocence until proven guilty. But if you do the crime, you do the time, just like any other country or whatever. You muck up, you get locked up. Not every country is as nice as certain countries out there that will allow you to watch TV while you're in prison and feed you. Some of them are just like, no, you're in your own personal little hell now, you know, and enjoy. Uh-oh, busted another one. Oh, wow, okay, so Okay, let me finish this area and then I'll get on that. We're looking for lots and lots of gold so that we can have, how many? I think it was 64? Yeah, 64 golden tracks. Because that's how many we need in order to get a panda over to our makeshift jungle. And I will be naming the panda so that it stays in the area. That's if nothing actually kills that panda, because I want it to live. I'll just leave that one right there so I know that there's more. Because if I dig down, then I'm going to see the rest of the other ones. Alright, so. Oops. So, I have been hydrating, and I did work out today, which I'm a big lazy butt with my workout, that is. I didn't work out the whole hour and a half, possibly just 45 minutes. Because I am not feeling up to par with the workout, and I don't. Yeah, you know, when you're not feeling well, you don't wanna. You shouldn't push yourself. I was being kind to myself, in other words. Alright, so. I think I did fix all of that. It looks fixed. This is a bit dark over here. Okay. It sounds like there's one right over there. It's freaking me out. It's too small of a space. It's just too small of a space. It's not really one. I know it's not really one. It's freaking me out though. Holy flip. I thought that gravel right there and that block moving was one of them. Just... Oh, the fear. I was like, how did it spawn? Oh, flip. Okay, alright. I can still fix this. We're good. So this one. Oh, that should be fine right there. I think it's a bit. No, it is kind of dark over here. So yeah, I was asked several times if I was gonna get like a gym membership, and I was like, possibly just a shower. I mean, it's like that's about the only time I'd actually. Cause I'm not gonna use all that equipment. Like for one, I don't know how to use pretty much any of that equipment. Nah, maybe like okay, so in the Job Corps that I was in, they had one of those like butterfly machines where you like they have this like bar that you put your hands, you hold right there, and you hand this bar right there, and then it has these like padded things that you use, and you clench your arms in front of your thing, and in the back it has a wire that's holding some weight. Sorry, I'm doing the actions from it because I remember how it was done. So so people were complaining that there were never any girls in the workout thing, and I was like, why, you need like a cheerleader or something? And he was like, well, I want to make sure that I'm doing things well. And I was like, so you do need a cheerleader thing? And he was like, well, no, it's not like that. And I was like, yeah, it is kind of like that. And he was like, all right, just come with me this one time, and I swear, just come with me. And I was like, and then after I went, there was the he was like, I bet you can't even like lift 10 pounds. And then it was like, I bet you can't lift 20 pounds. And I was just like, you know what you do for friends and whatnot. But so yeah, I had a few friends in Job Corps. But so I was yelled at because like I wear flannel and everything, and they were like, no, you can't do that with you can't do that with that on. You're gonna rip your shirt. And I was like, what are you talking about? It's like you should possibly, just take your shirt off. And I was like, I'm not taking my shirt off, but I will take my flannel off. And they were like, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Take your shirt off. And I was like, I'm not taking off my shirt. And he's like, stop being weird about it. Just take the long sleeve shirt off because you'll rip it. And I was like, I'm not going to rip it because I was swimming in it anyways, alright? That's a reference to it was 2 to 3 sizes too big for me, and that's the way I liked my clothes because it was baggy. And I turned a whole hell of a lot less heads with that than, whatever. And it protected me from, the elements and, the sun and stuff like that. Well, I took my my flannel off, and this was during the summer months in West Virginia, because that's where the school was located. And there were several intakes of breath, and then they said that they had never seen anybody that white, and then they started making fun of me for like 5 minutes about how I was Casper and someone else's some reference I didn't understand, some female reference. daughter, and that like they've been calling to see if I was gonna come home for the holidays and blah blah blah. And I was like, dude, all right, yeah, I'm pale Caucasian. I was like, you think I'm gonna make fun of you because of your skin color? And then he was like, oh, I'm dark chocolate, blah 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, okay, not everybody likes dark chocolate, okay? And he was like, and I was like, what? I'm like, I'm serious, it's bitter. I was like, unless it has like flippin' mint with it or coconut, it's not worth it. But yeah, and then they were like, you're just mad because you're just a little white girl. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then like, so then my friend was like, okay, so this is how this machine works. And then he walked me through how it worked. And then I'm sitting there, doing the whole thing like that. And then they had this one thing where you could lift your legs up. It kind of did the same thing, but it was a different little machine. But other than that, I didn't know how to do any of the other stuff. So I got a little bit of a walkthrough on how to do that and to properly lift, like squats or whatever, with like one of those well, they put 50 pounds on a thing, a 25 over here and a 25 over here, and this bar that had this little weird kink in it on two sides. And then they were like, yeah, you gotta squat. And they were like, oh, she really should have like a weight belt and stuff. And then they were like all just like yelling and like, no, she'll be fine and blah blah blah. And so there were just like 5 to 6 other males in there that were all just trying to lift weight, that like jumped in with like, oh no, you should do it like this. And then they took it and they were like, oh, this is so light, girls are always, blah 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 and this and that. And I was like, this is my first time I'm learning how to do this, dude, just chill. I was like, this is why females don't come in here. And they were like, oh, my bad, yeah. I didn't go back in there. I was like, flip that. But yeah, some other females ended up actually going in there, and I guess they were mindful and whatnot, but yeah, because they were talking, there were a few people talking about how I was lifting this much, and then, I guess it just spread, and then like 2 to 3 other females started like going in, and they were like, I knew it was gonna work. And I was like, what are you talking about? Well, they just needed to know that it was safe to go in there. And I was like, okay. I was like, so you use me as bait? And he was like, well, no, I knew you were gonna be fine because I was there, but, and I was like, all right, I was bait, I got it, no, it's all right. And he was like, but you're so small, and they would have felt comfortable because you felt comfortable. And I was like, what if I didn't feel comfortable? And but I had spent like an hour maybe in their little gym thing, and then it was all right. I mean, it's like, it's like, I'll take this one. I'll throw this down. I guess I'll hold on to that. I don't have enough gold yet. Okay, so I had a few people ask me if I was gonna go back into the gym. That like they could show me like a few pointers on my squats because I was atrocious with it, and that asked me if I felt sore afterwards. And like how like whenever someone's walking by when you're having a conversation like that, and then they're like, it's like, oh, and it's like I was working out. It's like, what do you want from me? It's like, damn. It's like, I was like, no, I'm not sore. And then they were like, what are they and I was like, they think we, and they were like, oh no. And he was like, no, I'm only in the black chicks. And I was like, well, thanks, way to knock me even worse. But he was like, no, you're just not my type. He was like, you're cool, but you're not my type. And I was like, oh, well, at least you're being honest about it. But he's like, but yeah, you it's like whenever you were squatting and then he did it like he was doing it, he was like, you're supposed to stick your butt out just a little bit. He was like, you were too stiff up here. And I was like, I don't think I'm gonna be doing that again. And he was like, well, you gotta lift with your core. And I was like, I know you're really hyped up and excited about this, and this is like the first we're like talking, like talking other than like when we met, it was like 2 days ago. And he was like, oh no, but you're cool. He's like, there's like 4 girls that come in now, and he's like, and I was like, what? I was like, yeah, kind of got a thing for one. And he was like, yeah. He's like, I don't want to come off like a creep. And I was like, all right, well, if they're having trouble with their, I guess, squats, you can sit there and give them the spiel of, he was like, but I'm trying to work on that with you. I'm trying to see if you're getting offended. And I was like, what? I was like, first off, I don't think they're going to get offended by you asking, like, if they need help. I was like, any type of attention that females get whenever somebody's actually generally trying to help is welcomed, It's not like, oh, you, get away. And if it's like that, they were only in there for one thing anyway, so. That's in my layman's interpretation of what all females, are like. It's not like I have any experience in that department. And yes, I can't gauge for all, but I do know certain types. There could be some out there that I have no earthly idea how and why or what they are like in actuality, so I always look forward to meeting new people. I don't know whether I should tell this story or not. There was also this barber-like section. Weirdly enough, it was in the gymnasium that they had. They had like a little basketball court with a few bleachers on one side. And I mean, like, they didn't host any like team events or anything. It was just two basketball hoops on, it was like the size of an actual a court, but it only had one set of bleachers on one side. Well, the on the way to that place, there was a little movie room kind of thing that was only open certain times. Like, they were supposed to have it open every flippin' night, but nope. It was only open certain times. Like, let me give it a for instance. I think it was like every second and fourth Friday. And then sometimes it was open on the third and fourth Saturday, but it was never open on Sundays, and it was never open on any other Friday or Saturday. So it was like, And people would bring their DVDs and, it's like, I don't think we're gonna fight, are we? Yes, please. I will check out this area. Oh, I'm scared already. That area is scary, but now I have a friend. He wants to go back in that hole even though it doesn't lead anywhere. Boxing you in here, buddy. Come on, let me box you in. I can't have other things spawning in here. Make your decision. Make it. Okay, so yeah. And they would leave a buzz, one of those electric buzz things. Clippers. Thank you. For the students to groom or whatever. So there was this male who was going on a date, and his date didn't like back hair or chest hair. And I was like, really? I was like, well, how hairy are you? He was like, I'm pretty damn hairy. And I was like, okay. I was like, she does know that, right? He was like, well, and I was like, well, you shouldn't lie about it. I was like, do you want to permanently, like, continue to, cut your hair over and over again? He was like, well, I don't even know if it's going to work out. And I was like, okay, well, not if you're sitting there lying. And he was like, well, I need someone to help. And I was like, well, help you what? I was like, because I'm not going to lie to her. And he was like, no, well, see, you get these little passes here and there where you can leave for the weekend if you can prove that you have like a hotel room and whatnot, and like a receipt to a hotel and whatnot for that, because they won't just let you wander the streets for that. I've never, like, I was offered to go to one and I was like, no. I was like, first off, I don't trust Jens. Second off, hell no. I was like, I came here to learn, not to, mess around. So flip that. And my friend he was like, yeah, I got a hotel room, and I want to take her to, you know, this and that. And I was like, oh, well, yeah, I think she'll enjoy that because it's like, I, he said he was going to take her to Red Lobster, okay? And I was like, well, does she even like, you know, seafood? And he was like, that's all she talks about. And I was like, well, okay, then, you know, that's definitely a great idea. And, so he was really nervous about it, and we were sitting there walking and whatnot, and he was like, well, I wanna get a haircut before I go to see her again. And I was like, okay. I was like, does she go to the school? And he was like, well, no. He's like, I met her, you know, a few months ago, and every time I go out, I bump into her. And we finally decided that we wanted to have a date. And I was like, oh, I was like, random love, random chance meeting. So I was all giddy and whatnot about it, and I was like, oh, I was like, what can I do? And he was like, do you know anyone who knows how to cut hair? And I was like, well, I know kind of how to cut hair. I was like, what are you looking for? And he was like, well, I just need a trim. And then he was like, and I need someone to shave my back. And I was like, what? And I was like, are you serious? And he was like, yeah, he's just buzzing. And I was like, I mean, it wasn't even that bad. He just had a couple patches and everything. So these females who walked by while we were, you know, buzzing his back, they were like, oh, you into some kinky crap? And I was like, no. I was like, this is just, you know, friends helping friends. And they were like, oh, okay. And I was like, but the date was a success, and he he asked for some other pointers later. And I was like, well, you gotta tell her about the hair thing. And I was like, you just have to tell her, though. He shaved his own chest, but I shaved his back. So that was my handiwork. And I did give him a little touch-up trim on the back and whatnot. So that was interesting. All right. Alright, so I can't go that way anymore. I'm going too far away from this way. Or not far enough. Alright, let's just keep chewing this wall. Whoops. So, the other things he asked about are not appropriate to speak without the permission of that person who had asked. And, yeah, it wasn't a secret, but it's something that possibly shouldn't be spoken again. But it did tickle my fancy. I should possibly make another chest. I'll put it on this side. I'll take this out. I'll put this over here. Throw that down, and then throw this down. I'll put this right here, and that right here. Then I'll take a little bit of that just in case I need it. Now time to make some so I once met this person who only drank, what is that called? Sprite. Like, that is all they drank, was Sprite. And living there, the water wasn't good. I mean, it really wasn't good. I was staying with her for a little bit, and so it was either Sprite or like dehydrate, and no offense, I'm not a fan of Sprite. It's like carbonated drinks. There are 3 different carbonated drinks that I actually drink. There's root beer, Mountain Dew, I know, super flippin' caffeinated, the worst caffeinated one you could get, and then cream soda. I have a passion for cream soda. Holy flip, cream soda. So, it is, okay, so the ones that come from breweries, like, you know how, like, people put their passion into it? Like, there's this one brand, something. It's normally a beer company and everything, but they make these specialty sodas. And their specialty sodas are sweetened with Wisconsin honey. And it is flippin' amazing. They use real vanilla in this cream soda. It is phenomenal. I was like, I've sworn off A&W cream soda. After that, I was like, holy flip. And I was like, always A&W cream soda. It's like, flip, that's amazing. But now it just tastes like a cheap imitation. I was like, why was I ever wasting my soap on this? That's how good it was. Oh my goodness. I gotta look up the brand, honestly. Give me a second. I'm not marketing here, I'm just explaining. It's like, cream. Might be Sprecher. It is. Okay, hold on. Images. Okay. I'm gonna pop this up. Give me a second. That type. Yeah, I know what it looks like. It's actually cream soda. No alcohol whatsoever. This is just the way their beers and whatnot are. They're all packaged in the same type of glass container. I think some of their specialty ones, like the green ones, are in green glass, and then the rest of them are all in that amber colored container. But it is fantastic. It is nummy. So if you've never tried it or thought it was like alcoholic, it is definitely not, and it is amazing. They make a fantastic cream soda. Whoops. I have yet to get my bank card yet, or my photo ID. But I am excited. I'm excited to start my new adventure. Did my little walk around friend disappear? Yep. I will be missing Coco, which I love you very much, Coco. But I know he can't come on the bus with me, and I can't even sneak him on the bus. Need water and everything. Be interesting if I could afford a ticket. That'd be fun. But then the bag would be pressurized and whatnot, and possibly bop. So that wouldn't work either. I can't take like a 10-gallon tank on there. That's what I used to transport him here. He was in a 10-gallon tank. It was filled halfway up, and yes, I know it's not the best way, but he is so big you can't even put him in one of those transporting little containers. And I was told like one of those styrofoam ones would not work. He has this the spines, like really bony spines. Holy flip, holy flip, holy flip, holy flip. Crap, 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 crap. We're just gonna sit here in this little corner for a minute. But anyways, he has these like bony skeletal kind of like he has like claws, and he has like back things. So I'm just like, it would end up being a whole crap load of mess, and he would be bumped non-stop through there. It was awful. It's like while we were moving him, I was sitting there, I was holding this damn 10-gallon tank. It was filled up to like 2 to 3 gallons, and I'm sitting here trying to make sure that he's not bumping into anything, and it was really stressful. But he was chill. He was super chill the whole way. Set up the tank, put him and the other fish in there, because I had them in like little they were in Ziploc kind of bags, because they're small. Not small enough to be like sucked up through his mouth, but they were small. Everyone survived the travel. There were no casualties. Unfortunately, throughout the years, I was told the glowfish only last like 2 to 3 years too, because whenever they're younger, they inject this stuff in the back of their spine, and that greatly shortens their lifespan. And I was like, that is so mean. That is so cruel. I didn't like it. I was like, I'm sure they didn't like it either. That dripped lava, I saw it. We're gonna sit here and look for a second. I swear I saw it drip lava. I'm like 100% sure that, like maybe 98% sure, because I don't know now. I'm definitely not digging up. Well, we had rescued quite a few fish over the years. Some of them nobody would have wanted, like one of my favorites was Zap. He was a neon he was a long-tailed tetra, like one of those ones with the fancy tails, like a whooshy tail. We got a few of the long-tailed ones and a few of the short-tailed ones. And Zap was an electric yellow. That's hence his name is wow, you know. And oh flip, did I really? I did. Give me a second. I don't want to accidentally spawn anything in here. I'm freaking. But he had a slight curve on his like it wasn't his full back and everything. He was having trouble swimming, and you know there were some technicalities that he was going through. He had a hard time swimming, and he had a hard time like fending for some food. Like he'd get there, and he got his food and everything, but he had a little bit of some trouble. But he was the cutest little flippin' fishy you ever did see, and he was so excited when you got to that tank. He was like, oh look who it is. Always happy to see you. I'd sit there and talk to them for a while, because I'm one of those weird people. He was not the first to go. They kind of cannibalized Pinky. I named Pinky after like Pinky and the Brain. It was like a neon pink color, and then there was a Patrick. Patrick was Patrick color, like Patrick the Starfish, and we had Passion. Passion was purple. Didn't have a green one. Didn't have a blue one. I'm pretty sure we didn't have a... But we did have a yellow one. Oh, orangey. Orangey. I didn't name orangey. I believe he was 8 at the time when he named him. A wee one named him. And, it was interesting. Pinky was the first to go, other than 2 to 3 plecos before, because the Tetra just kept eating everything that went into the tank, and they were put in the same time. And then I sat there and I was like, all right, this isn't going to work out. And I was like, okay, so this is what's going to happen. I was like, you are all family in this tank. I was like, do you understand me? And they were just looking at me, and I was like, okay, so in order for me not to have to change the tank water this much, I was like, you know, when I called myself mommy, to them has to check, have to like, you know, change the water of the tank, and they're just looking, and I was like, you know how annoying that is when I have to take you out of, you know, this huge tank, because it's an 88-gallon tank, and put you in this little tank, which is a 10-gallon tank, so that I can clean this. And I was like, these plecos, the things that you keep eating and decimating, because we went through 3 of them. We got one whenever they were all together, and they were all in there. It was, everybody was like nobody's territory and everything. Well, the next 2 after that one ended up dead. Oh, he had something to hide under. He really did. They went into that thing and flippin' mucked him up. And I was like, whoa. That is pretty messed up. They're vicious. vicious. So, that wasn't good enough for them. They had to take out Pinky, too, while, there were only... Okay, so there was Pinky, Passion, Zap, Orangey, and Patrick. There were 5 of these fish, and they were only this big. And the plecos that we got were like this big, okay? We were told that they were only going to get 6 inches. This is how big Coco is. This is way more than 6 inches. He is 1 foot and 3 inches. I put a measuring tape there, and he just like swam next to it, and I was like, holy flip, Coco. Look how big you are. But he is the only one in the tank. It's like, how he turns around is he swims up and then turns around. And it's like, okay. Because the tank is like this wide. Like, I mean, he can like kind of halfway on the tank, but like he needs to like swim up and around just to, and he can lay fine just this way, because the tank is like flipping. Tank is probably bigger than I am, longer. I could lay in that thing and still have like 2 feet, maybe like 1.5 feet of, you know, wiggle room above my head if I were to lay on it, well, in it. It's a long tank, and it's 88 gallons. And it was a specialty tank that they made for somebody, and like I got this tank over 10 years ago. It was in South Carolina, and the people who were selling the tank, they were like, oh, you know, yeah, I was putting in for a card because, like, yeah, I had fish at the time. And they were like, okay, what's your birthday? And it was actually around the time for my birthday. It was like maybe 6-7 days after, and they're like, oh, you just had a birthday. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, oh, you know, hey, you know what would be a good birthday present to yourself? And I was like, what? And they were like, look. And it's like, look how big this tank is. It's 88 gallons, blah, 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 blah. You can have it for, like, they had the sign was like 300, but they were like, oh, you could have it for like 200. And I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, 195. And I was like, if I say no again, are you gonna drop the price? And they're like, oh, come on. It's a great tank, and they couldn't sell it because it was an odd numbered tank. They make their tanks, and the person who had wanted it never came back for it, and I don't know why, but they were selling it. They were trying to sell it, and it wouldn't go. So while this lady was ringing me up, the guy was like throwing stuff in it and saying like, yeah, we'll give you the gravel for free. And it's like, okay. And they're like calculating this stuff, and we'll give you a filter with an air filter, replacement. And I was like, wow. I was like, does it come with the light? And he was like, yeah, we'll throw that in too. You get the whole shebang. And I was like, so I got gravel, a filter, which I found out later was not even able to hold, like, to filter the whole thing. It was like a 50 to 75 filter, like 50 to 75 gallon filter. It was like a dual filter that, like, it had this little cartridge that come down here, and you would have to rip open the package of the charcoal and put it in a new sleeve, and then pinch the little compartment on it. It was one of those things, and I didn't mind. I really didn't mind, and it was interesting to say the least. And I was like, wow. I was like, they really, really wanted to sell it. And the lady ringing it up said, oh yeah, it's been here for about a month and a half now, and they can't move it. They've tried everything. And I was like, oh wow. And then he comes back out, and he's like, yeah, you're really helping me out here. And he's like, I can't help but sit here and thank you again. And I was like, okay. They even helped us load it into the car, and it was pretty damn nice. So I still have that tank. It only cost me, like, with the tax, like, just about 200. And I got all that free filters stuff and whatnot with it. I was like, wow, it's my birthday present to me. And my fish went from a 10-gallon tank to that huge thing. Oh, it was pretty damn great. And when all of those fish ended up passing, it turned into an aquarium for my snake, which he went from that little like I guess 10-gallon aquariums, like 10 to like maybe 15-gallon aquarium, to what I had, which was the 88-gallon tank. And I had him in coconut what is that, mulch. He loved the coconut mulch. He would dig himself in, and he would just see his little head out, and it was adorable. It was Striker. I miss him. I would have possibly still had him now. Oh, Oh, if it wasn't for flippin' roommate's daughter. He was a lovely snake. Only bit me once. And that was after, like, he had been, like, stressed out by the, roommate's daughter. And that's how I knew that she was still picking him up. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I should have said something before I went to pick you up. I was trying to rush, and I needed to feed him before I went to work, and it was my fault too. And then I had asked if, like, anybody has been, like, picking him up, and the grandma who started living in the house, because she was supposed to be watching the roommate's flip daughter, said that, yeah, that she keeps picking him up, and I was like, mother flipping, and I didn't yell at the mom, but I told her about it, and she said that she was going to yell at her daughter because she already knows not to do that, and then she ended up continuously doing that, and then the she would leave the container open too. So he got out like maybe four times. And I had to sit there in the living room waiting for him. And I would just sit there and hum, and then he would end up coming over to where I was, and then I was like, oh wow, you're really cold. I was like, you should actually be in, get in your aquarium, because, like, dude, I was like, it gets real cold at night. It's like, dude. But yeah, I'd feel like that coldness, like, on my arm, or like it freaked me out when he came towards my neck once. I was like, oh, and I was like, oh, there you are. He was only like this. Okay, I got him when he was this big, and he got to be about this big, and he could have gotten like maybe this big if he would have got to his full length, because he was a corn snake. Okay, they don't get that big, and yeah, he was one of those, he was an amber corn snake. He was like almost, maybe two feet. But he started off on like little itty bitty, what did they call them? Pinkies? That's what the brand name, I guess, is. Little baby mice. I know it's gross to some people and everything, but it was my snake's food, and I would have them in my freezer, and I'd take them out when he needed them. Like, I was feeding him once a week, and then it was twice a week when he got a little bit bigger. And because, like, they tell you to, like, offer again if they're still hungry. And so while he was growing, he would eat like 2, sometimes like 3. We went from those little mice ones to the baby rat. I know, it's awful. It's like, yeah, they freeze them, and it's, but it was his food, and I'm not gonna sit there and like, no, you're a vegan. You're vegan because I like little mice and rats, but but anyways, here's my little lovely. The dog of the roommate ate him, half ate him. I was like, mother flipping hell. I freaked out. And then they sat there and they told me that it was just a snake. And I was like, no, get out. Get out. I was like, I am sick of you people destroying everything that is mine. I am sick of you people, like, just demeaning my feelings. I mean, that was family. Stryker was family. Just a snake. Do you know what I wanted to do when they said just a snake? Dude. I was like, alright, let me just flip in. I never hurt their dog, but like, dude, it's like just, holy flip. It's like, let me take your arm. Let's see how well you do. It's just an arm, you know? Flip. Sorry, I'm gonna be all sullen and quiet for a little bit. Morning dead. I had a spider friend once. It's a little jumping spider, a little white one in Pennsylvania. The white ones are normally males, and you can tell the males from the females because of the shape of their pretty much their butt, their backside. It's like, I don't remember how you say it, like an abdomen. But, yeah, it was he was a male, and he was my dishwashing spider. I was always having to do the dishes, and so he was there keeping me company. They're very curious. Very, very curious. And sweet. I never touched it, but I would lift up the dish and I'd ask him if it was clean enough for his taste, and sometimes he would do the whole, like with his hand, hands up and whatnot, like in the like mother effer kind of thing, like it's going down, grr. And I was like, I look at the dish and I'm like, oh yeah, you're right, I did miss a spot, and scrub it a little more, and then I put it down. I lifted up again, then was just looking. See nothing. There was nothing wrong with it, so. He was a cutie. Trying to think of some other creatures that. Well, there was this one turtle that that they brought home once. I think George brought it home, and I named it Raphael because, like, I was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan. And he had been run over by a car, and they didn't think he was going to make it, but yet he did make it, and I was one of the ones who nursed him back, and we had him for a while, and his shell grew back just fine. He had like this little niche on his back, like, you know, owie. They kept giving me animals that they thought were going to die. And I found that really offensive. Like, all grown up. I was like, dude. I was like, were you really trying to teach me the meaning of death at such a young age? I mean, did you think I was going to let these animals die in my care? I mean, like, because I took care of a rabbit, and then I got sent away to my grandparents because they couldn't get the rabbit away from me. This was a wild rabbit. And then I was taking care of this this little squirrel too. And while I was at school, they said that they took it to animal whatever. And I was like, okay, well, you know, they'll probably have better luck, you know, taking care of it. But it was doing well. It's like, I was there, I was taking care of it, I was giving it all the stuff that it needed. We got this little bottle for, like, kittens, and we tried to modify it a little bit so that the baby squirrel could actually drink out of it. So, it was going well. I was taking care of the flippin' rabbit real good because, like, okay, so I actually had some internet at the time, so I was looking up how to get the rabbit to, you know, survive, and one of the ways to do that was that you needed to have a bowl of water with cotton what are the things? It's not a cotton swab, it's a cotton ball. And you had the warm water, and you were supposed to stimulate their nether region to make them go potty because they wouldn't otherwise. And yeah, so I had to do that. It was interesting to say the least. Alright, just 2 again. It's like, am I using the right one? Yeah, it has fortune on it. Alright. So, yeah, we got him. Okay, so this cat, the neighbor's cat, what did they name him? Felix? No, that was the other neighbor's cat. Flip. I don't remember his name. But anyways, the neighbor's black cat up the road when we were living on this hill, just all of a sudden came up to me and had something in its mouth, and I greeted it and I was like, hey, you know, how's it going? And then it dropped something on my lap and I'm like, what the? And I was like, thank you, and I'm thinking it's possibly a dead mouse or something, and I pick it up, it is an itty bitty teeny tiny rabbit. Its eyes were still closed. It was just like complete. I was like, where did you get this? And I'm like, holy flip, I gotta give it back to its mom. I mean, you know, but I tried following the cat back to like where I thought it was leading me back there, but it just led me to the house to like his house, and I was like, holy flip. I was like, okay. So I brought it to George and I explained what happened, and he was like, well, kill it. And I was like, no. And he was like, it's not gonna survive. And I was like, I will take care of him. Like, him. I don't know. I think I just, like, thought it was a male. And I went about with the, I looked it up on the internet, and they liked dark places and whatnot. So I made a little den in the bathroom underneath the sink, and anytime someone would go in there to go to the bathroom or anything, I would take them out. I was like, hold on, let me go get the bunny. And I would take the bunny out, and I was feeding them every 2 hours, and that's what it recommended, like every 2 to like an hour and a half. And so I'm like, okay. So we had a little baby kitty bottle again, and it's like, this was before I got the squirrel, and this little baby would eat the flippin' nipple, like flippin' chewed the damn. It was like, damn, okay. So I had to get some replacements for this, and it ended up being just fine. I only had to replace the bottle, like the nipple on the bottle, like maybe 3 to 4 times. And it was like, I think it realized if it didn't bite it wouldn't gush out and like damn near choke. Cause like whenever it like coughed and whatnot, I would pull the bottle away. I'm like, holy flip, what did you do? And it would still be leaking, and I'm like, I gotta change this. But like, yeah, it was going well. Got to the point where its eyes were open. I mean, I was nursing this thing from like damn near the beginning of summer till like midsummer. And then like it was like, oh no, you gotta go visit your grandparents. They really miss you. You gotta go visit them. And I was like, I was like, who's gonna take care of the rabbit? I was like, no, they can miss me longer. Like, who's gonna take care of the rabbit? Yeah, it was a ploy to get me away from the rabbit, and then I don't know what they did with the rabbit afterwards, but it was just like, dude. But I did get to meet my grandma's ducks and whatnot. That was cool. She got some new ones and a turkey. That turkey was the meanest turkey that I ever damn saw. I mean, he'd sooner attack you than let you look at him. He was like, "What the flip are you looking at?" And I was like, "He's so pretty." And she's like, "Oh, but don't touch him." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, because I know what it's like when, you don't want someone to touch you. So I wasn't going to abuse that. But I was in charge of feeding the ducks and the pond fish for a little while, and they got me away from the rabbit. I know now that that's what they were trying to do the whole time, and I don't know where the rabbit went. Nobody ever said anything. It was just like, yeah, they're better now. We released them to the wild or whatnot. I was like, it was still a baby. What the flip? And I yelled, and I might have said some harsh words about how they were monsters, and how that I should have never like trusted them because like, yeah, reasons. But I was quite livid about that. Such a cute rabbit too. I didn't name him because I was told that I wasn't allowed to name him. Because like if you name someone, you're gonna get attached and blah blah blah. I called him Bun Bun. It wasn't a name, it was just a nickname. Just a little nickname. It wasn't a name. I didn't know whether it was a male or a female, so I didn't think it right to sit there and give them a name. I don't know. Kid logic, I guess. I've always wanted a hermit crab. Like, my brother, my older brother, half-brother, Jesse, had a hermit crab, but the cruel older half-brother, Lonnie Paul, and his friends had squirt mustard all over it and killed it. It was really sad. But I've always wanted a hermit crab. I was never allowed to have one. Maybe because it would have possibly turned into a coconut crab with me. Found out later that is totally what they do. It's like they start off as little hermit crabs and they live like, I think 70 something years, and then they finally get to the point where they no longer need their shell, and they're these huge massive crabs about this big with their legs spanned, like their bodies are like this big, and they have like these claws about this big that they can pop a damn coconut open. I was like, wow. But yeah, I wasn't allowed to have one of those. I don't know what I'd name them. It's like, I know that I did lots of research on like what they needed to like survive and whatnot. They need a combination of fresh water and salt water so that they can lubricate, because they're going to make these adaptations themselves with what you give them. A little dish of fresh water and a little dish of salt water, and then they make the combination they need in order to survive, because they need some the fresh water to drink and the salt water to lubricate their gills, because they have gills in their shell, and they'll make a combination like a soup of salt and fresh water to their consistency, and they'll just like kind of bathe in that a little bit. It's like, wow, that's pretty nifty. And the hermit crabs, even though they're not social creatures, they'll sit there and wait for each other to try on new shells just so they can have like this shell train. It's fascinating. And then some hermit crabs are mean and they cut the snail train, and then they like swipe the flippin' shell, and then there's one without a shell, and then they'll have to use something like awful. Just, it's like, aw. Wait a minute, I gotta... Whoopsies. No, that should be fine right there. It's like, maybe I should put it back a little further. Just check this wall. Yeah, I made that a little bit deep, but, you know, hey. Alright, let's see. Wow, that's, yeah, a lot deep. Alright, so, you know. Had a Halloween crab once. Animals just kept popping up in our house. We had a parrot for a little while, but one of the cats took it out. Like, it was sad. Had a few iguanas, but the dog took that out. I don't know what the hell that was about, though. Well, we got it. We named it Melody, and because it was an interesting story on how the iguana was named. We were like, the next street, we'll name it that. And the next street was called Melody, and then, you know, we named it after the next street. It's like Melody. It was a nice name for the iguana. So we had a Chihuahua Beagle mix that came from an elderly old lady that could no longer take care of her dog anymore. And this dog was so flippin' spoiled that she was cranky spoiled. It's like you people don't know anything about anything kind of spoiled. Well, she was okay, so she had this all right, you know what like coffee looks like whenever it's mixed with a good amount of milk. That color was what most of her back was. It was like a she was white with the cream coffee cream kind of color all on her back, and her ears were that color, so she looked like a beagle, but she was round. Like, I mean, she was plump, and she was shorter to the ground than a beagle. And you could tell in her face she had some Chihuahua. I don't know how that combination mixed. I don't know how she came into being, but that is what she looked like, and that is what we were told she was. And she ended up, she would curl into the bed, she would crawl into the bed. Like, if you tucked your covers in and everything, she would rip it out and then squeeze underneath, and then she would get the covers to where she could put her little paws over them just like that, and she would lay on your pillow. Well, my what was formerly known as my half sister. Anyways, she had swapped beds with me because we had a bunk bed. She was normally on the bottom bunk, and I was on the top bunk. I was a lot lighter, and and the older sister, and a lot lighter, and just saying. And so the puppy, and her name was Muffin, she would growl at anyone who tried to get her out of the damn bed. All right? And like I would get I'd have some, I don't know if you would call them night terrors, but I had some stuff messing with me in the middle of the night, and I would go about and try to sleep at least like maybe 2 hours during the day, so I could like get a little bit of sleep, you know? So nap time was good time. And this was like in the middle of the day after I got home from school. And at the time I didn't have any homework because like it was like first, maybe second grade. And I go to sleep, and like I try to go to sleep, but Muffin was there, and I was like, all right. I was like this isn't gonna work. I was like, Muffin, I was like, you can either get out of the bed or let me snuggle you. And I was like, those are the only two options because I need sleep too. And I was like, this is my bed. I was like, I don't mind sharing it with you, but you either let me snuggle you or we're gonna have a problem. And so she would growl a little bit, and I'm just like, just scoot over. And then I'd scoot her over a little bit, and then I wrap my arm around her, and I'd snuggle her, and I'd give her a kiss. And I was like, see, it's not so bad. I was like, you're a cute little puppy. I was like, this can be our nap time together. And so she became a bit sweet on me because I was sweet on her. And it was alright for me to pet her sometimes. She got out a couple times, and One of the times she did get out, she was like a good years old. Like when we got her, she was like 8, 9 years old. So she was like pretty damn old. And most dogs in, I guess, captivity last about 15 to 10 years sometimes. So she was she was she was being well taken care of. She did lose some weight. She was becoming a little more active, and it was nice. Um, so she did pass because we had a new mailman, and the old mailman knew that she wasn't going to do anything, but this new mailman freaked out and kicked her like a football and broke ribs, like broke quite a few of her ribs, and she couldn't handle that, and she passed away. Like it was bad, like really bad. I hated that mailman. Just he was the dog killer after that. It was just like, dude. But while she was alive, she was a fantastic little companion, and I was so sad that um, her previous person couldn't take care of her anymore and needed to be taken care of herself. I think her relatives put her in a home and they wouldn't allow the dog. I mean, I don't understand that. Like, that's. Uh, it's like, why don't they allow dogs? It was like, shouldn't they allow the dog? I mean, that's a part of the family. That's someone else who like keeps them in good spirits, and it could be just a therapeutic dog and whatnot. And I know some dogs don't get along, but they wouldn't be out and about with all the other dogs. But I noticed that there are some people who are allergic to dogs, but do they have to be going to a nursing home where they do allow dogs? They can go to another nursing home, but they really should have nursing homes that actually do care for their patients as well as allow the dogs or the cats to be there, like family friendly, flippin' animal friendly areas. They could have one wing where all the cats can be on one side and then the dogs could be on the other side. I mean, it doesn't have to be weird or messed up or like dangerous for the animals themselves. Excuse me, I got a little. I mean, it would boost their morale for one. It would keep them striving to survive for two. Because that's a part of their family right there. It's like, it doesn't matter if other people don't believe that animals have feelings or whatnot, because, oh yeah, I've met people who believe that they don't have feelings, that they don't have emotions, or even, what is that other one that they keep saying, that they're not even sentient creatures. I'm like, you mother effer. I was like, if you don't believe an animal is a sentient creature, then you can't even claim to be a sentient creature. That's where I am on that one. It's like, oh yeah, you don't think this is a sentient creature? Well, you just knocked yourself a few pegs down too. Non-sentience. Has no feelings. Dead to society. Trying to think of some happy memories, honestly. I remember talking about the bat. Even though I got jabbed, it was a happy memory because I helped a bat. I helped a bat. I was a bat hero. For like maybe just a little bit. You know? With that one bat, I rescued it. I don't care if no one bows down and or anything to that. I got very close to a bat and I talked to it and I told it that it was going to be okay, and I scooped it up on a dustpan and I took it outside, and then it crawled off into the grass, and I hope that it ended up getting back up eventually, like to somewhere that it could fly. Well, there's like no gold in here. I think bats are cute. I think a lot of the reptiles are cute too. And the frogs. Oh, hey, there's gold. I think, what are those things called? Water bears? They're a detritivore type of critter. I think they're cute. They have these like super long claws, like three-toed sloth, and then they have these little like the little face with the big like anyway, it's adorable. And they're just so plump and everything, and they're efficient hunters as well as adapters. It is fascinating. Let me see if I can get a picture. Okay, so alright, brace yourself. Ready? What the? I think they're cute! Look at all the flippin' rolls and the stuff, and they got all those legs. And okay, hold on, let me see if I can. Okay, that one right next to my head, that one right there. You see those claws? It's like. And then if you watch them move, it is so adorable, and I'm just like, it's so cute. And they can survive in space. They can survive in extreme temperatures, like I don't think quite boiling, but they can't be from like one temperature to like the next like immediately, but if you like kind of gradually put them up to that type of temperature, it works. So yeah, I think those are cute too. They are, I mean, if you ever watch them like hunt or anything, it is so flippin' cute. It's like, oh, look at that terrible terror. That critter's gonna eat everything. I was like, and then it's just like nom yum yum yum, and it's like, oh my goodness. I'm just watching this vicious crime, and I'm thinking it's so adorable. uh, but it totally was adorable. I was like, wow, it's just like flipping attack this thing. It shredded it. I mean, like, it grabs it, and then it just like starts sucking it in, and it just, it's just like, wow. It was like, it's so vicious, but adorable. Alright, so this is that, then this, then that, then this. Alright, so. Okay. I freak out like almost every time like that. I'm just like, wait. It's like, maybe I shouldn't have hit that. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe it was just one and then it's gonna come down and there's gonna be. Oh. Okay, so let me just oops. Oh wow. There's a lot of critters in the microscopic world that are like, I mean, if you saw the magnetized versions of them, some of them look kind of like scary, but then others are like just so flippin' cute. They're like, it's just like, what? I am not a mindless killer. I'm just eating things off you that you don't want on you. It's like, dude. I watched this microbiology kind of like little world and everything. Everything is like so active. I mean, you see most people, they're just like lazing about and everything, but like these things are just so active, and to know that you have these little critters that are depending on you to stay healthy and actually survive. Just woo flip. That is scary. That is legit scary. But that they're depending on you to stay like healthy to a certain extent, and holy flip, that could have been bad. I forgot. Whew. Alright, so it's like, alright, I was kind of really scared and now I forgot what I was doing. So, they depend on you to actually be able to eat and do all of this stuff that you normally do, and you don't even consider that it's actually helping like millions, if not billions, trillions of them in a daily manner. And it's like, wow. It's like, dude, gotta keep those biomes like healthy. It's like, we can work together, we can rule the world. Well, at least your body, at least. I still have a few problems, but without some proper dental care, can't do much about certain problems. So I have some necrotic tissue that still needs to be removed, so I'm like part zombie. Grr. And I still need that removed, and from what I was told, it has been there for some time, and seeing how I have not visited a prior to this year, I had not visited a dentist since I was like 13, maybe 12, maybe 14, who knows. And never had the wisdom teeth removed until this year. And it's really, really expensive. I mean, for what was left of my teeth, I was like, hey, these aren't even the full thing. That's why they cost full price. They should be half off, But, yeah, I still have some necrotic tissue in here and down there and on the other side, because once there's like some rot back there, it starts slowly spreading to the other teeth, and this is the way I was told. So yeah, It owies sometimes, but it's always good to make sure you get all the food out of your teeth. If you have cracks and indents and stuff, you definitely want to get those taken care of. What is this? Why is this here? It's wrecking my mood. Here, I thought I had everything compartmentalized. I don't know that word. I tried to use it, but I don't know that word. I'm using it properly, but I can't really say it. So, I still need work with my teeth, and I will be getting that done whenever I can afford it. So that should be fun. I have to check in the vicinity to see if there's any like free dentistry and whatnot. I might look out and they might have those teaching moments where they're allowing the people to do it for like free. I could definitely use a few of my teeth pulled out, or at least like root canaled. The reason I had to go to the dentist to begin with is because I had an abscess. It was bad. It was really bad. Had my mouth swollen up, and it's not the first time I had to deal with like lockjaw or a form of lockjaw. So I like to refer to myself as a tough cookie, but I'm like kind of gooey on the inside. But anyways, so I've had lockjaw a couple times, and the pain that I have endured, it was owie, but this abscess had put me down for a little while, and it got to the point where I wasn't making any progress with my work, and that was a problem, so the dentist was a necessity. I mean, like, can you really do stuff whenever your mouth is like hurting you, like someone's taking a jackhammer to it? And then as soon as you start to get used to that jackhammer pain, then it starts wah, wah, wah is put behind it. And it's like each one of those wah is a thump and a huge pain and swelling. I mean, super swelling. I mean, I was in tears for days. Days. It sucked. Getting an abscess in your owie. Owie maximum extreme. So, yeah. I did brush my teeth. Flossing, I do not, but I was told that even if I was flossing, because there was a comment at the place, and the dentist doctor, came to my defense and said this flossing would not have helped this. There's mass amount of necrotic tissue, and these wisdom teeth, they rot after, a certain time, and I should have had these removed like whenever they just came in. And he asked if I remembered when they came in. I was like, I don't know. He was like, do you remember any pain? And I was like, I remember lots of pain. But like he said that it was possibly around like 15 or 16. That's usually when they come in, and then you have to have them removed because they cause a lot of crowding in the mouth, and then they start shoving all the rest of the teeth towards the front, and then it causes worse problems as you get older. I mean, he was really nice about it. And yeah, I was brushing my teeth. Just flossing, no, because it always makes my teeth bleed. I can't gently floss. There is no gentle with floss. It just it's awful. And where did I leave off? Possibly this area. Yep, that area. Okay, so I was like, well, hey, that was nice. He was really, really nice, and I thought I got him to do some jokes, but then I was told later that yeah, he's a pretty funny person. I was like, yeah, because we were like joking back and forth, and the first time I visited him, I was in so much flippin' pain, and all he could give me was this stuff to help the swelling down and some like pain meds. And like um when I didn't actually go through all of the pain meds, he was super surprised. He was like, "What? Really?" And I was like, "Well, I was like, it stopped hurting after like 2 days." I was like, I could deal with that type of pain. I mean, I was like, the other stuff, no, I couldn't. I couldn't even work. I was in so much pain. And he was like, yeah, it was pretty bad. He's like, the swelling's gone down, and it's like, he was like, it could have burst and caused a lot more damage. And I was like, oh no. I was like, they burst? And he was like, yes, abscess can burst. And I was like, I don't. It's like I didn't want that to burst. And I was like, what would it have done? He was like, it would have released a whole lot of fluid that could have made a lot of damage. I think he said that it could have put me in sepsis. I could have died from it. The abscess. If you have an abscess, go to the ER. Go to the emergency room. They'll give you antibiotics and some stuff to help the swelling down. You could die. Like, legit. Be careful. So, this is not medical advice. This is just me trying to keep you alive. Alright? Alright, so dentistry is considered a luxury thing, which I don't understand. It shouldn't be a luxury thing. It should be like, oh, this is for health. This is like majorly for health. So these people who think that dentistry should and only stay flippin' luxury for like the wealthy to have them get whatever done and everything, like cosmetically or whatever. No, this needs to be like in actual healthcare. Like, dude, as many ways as you can die, stuff that could be like severely prevented, and just getting like some dentistry work done, like teeth pulled and flipping like medication like given just to like combat some certain types of bacteria in your in your mouth that is like trying to kill you? It's wonder why certain people live, you know, as long as they do. It's really a shame, honestly, that people are like greedy enough to sit there and say that the health and well-being of certain people are less just because they can't afford it. I'm like, what the? It's a sad world we live in. And people are more likely to poison you than actually help you. More willing to poison you to keep their job than to help you and like be out of a job, or even like have less of a job to do. It's like, wow, it's pretty damn bad, honestly. See, the way I look at it, if there's less work to do, then there are different things to do. Like, this would be a perfect time to learn another trade, you know? So not only would you be useful in that department, but you'd also be useful in another department. Like, multiple. Like, most doctors don't remember half of what they actually go to school for, and then they have to, what's that called? Okay, so I'm trying to think of what the actual percentage was. So, even if you study to be a doctor, there is no guarantee that you'll actually become a doctor, because the government will only allow a certain amount of doctors to be, and of those certain doctors, there's only a certain amount that will actually pop their own practice versus have to work for somebody else's. If you catch my drift. And I don't understand why. It's like, if someone wants to go through the medical field and go through the training, shouldn't they be used as a doctor or at least a nurse until another doctor like retires, and then they can sit there and all apply if they needed to? Because most of the nurses do exactly what the doctors do, and sometimes do better, because they're possibly training to be a doctor as well. It's like, dude, I don't understand, like, whoops, I did write the pattern flip. Alright, so this one. Alright. Scared. Alright. So. This one's empty, then this one. Okay. So, in my layman's perspective, having more doctors would be a good thing. I mean, if they went through a 9 to 5 like what other people do, like they're only working like 6 to 7 hours. I don't think they should be paid less or whatever, because this is like they're dealing with people's lives in their hands. I mean, but if there were more of them, I mean, are they trying to make it so that they don't get paid less? Because if that was the problems, I don't. It's like I'm trying to wrap my head around why they only allow certain amount to go, you know, to actually be these doctors. And then, like, dude, wouldn't it be an interesting turn of events if people were hiring doctors from overseas because we had amazing doctors who knew this and that and who knows what else, and then having them go on vacations just for their work. I mean, dude, it sounds pretty damn good to me. I mean, yeah, okay, they'd have to be up to date with their vaccines and what is that called? You know, like the polio, mumps, measles, and stuff, depending on where they're going, because certain places do have these things still. And I'm not talking about the COVID, because COVID is not even as bad as flipping a cold. It's actually quite lax compared to a cold. The vaccine that they're using to prevent the COVID is quite lethal. And when it makes a child have heart attacks, there's a problem. There's some massive problems going on. But turnabout, going back to where we were talking about, so if we were to continue our revenue with, like, not like monopolizing the whole medical field, but to sit there and make it available for certain people to get the actual what is that called? The medical that they needed, and they could go across seas and be protected, and you could even like hire like a squad of people to protect these people if you so needed to. Not saying everybody's that violent and whatnot, but just in case, so they don't get like captured or contained or whatever, or stolen, because weirder things have happened, like weirder things. So that way they could possibly bring their family over, spend like a week or two acclimating, and then go about and have like a month of, you know, checking up on people, and like, you know, like a residency, but like overseas kind of thing. You know how like you sign a contract for a certain amount of time in certain locations and whatnot. Well, like in hospitals or whatever, you have a contract of like you're going to be here for this amount of time, and then they'll do a review on you, okay? And they'll decide whether or not they're going to hire somebody else, or if they're going to give you a raise and beg you to stay, kind of thing. Alright. Well, just imagine if you were able to travel the world and be able to afford housing and whatnot in these other countries, and then you would just need to be their doctor for, like, who knows, a month, maybe even a year, maybe 6 months, and getting paid by the government so that the government could have some like wiggle room on their debt for this or that. So then they would pay off the debt we owed to certain countries, as well as it would be helping promote their people as well. So it'd be, it'd give win-win maybe, give and take kind of thing. I need more stone. Where do I have the stone? Okay. I mean, whatever happens to like people trading and stuff, trading jobs and like, I'll do this for you if you do this for me, kind of thing. And it'd be fun for the people like protecting them too, because then they'd have like some hopefully they'd have a little bit of downtime in between the shifts and stuff so that they can walk around and scout the perimeters and, sample the local cuisine. Could be fun. I mean, you really shouldn't let a healer, go places like not really protected, especially if they're there to do a job and you don't quite trust the people that are around and whatnot. So I mean, it just makes sense to have protection. Just saying. Because you don't know if there's renegades that they're fighting too, and you don't know if they're having some internal squabble about this or that. Some countries are still fighting each other for civil rights, which is really sad. But that is why the protection. I'm not saying that they have to watch you swim around in a pool, which that story was really crazy. I am okay. Yeah, there we go. Oh, some gold. I was like, I just don't understand why nobody's thought about this to begin with. I was like, lots of different countries need good health care. I mean, they do have their own doctors and whatnot, but there are some that don't. Who knows? You could like possibly have a school over there and like teach some of them how to actually, that'd be nice. I was like, oh no, but they'd live longer, right? I was like, we might actually have like allies. Holy flip, you think that would be scary? this right here? I have to go back to the... I'm running out of torches. Okay. Might actually make it like healthcare like affordable. I mean, it just really sucks when greedmongers, they put their hands in everything. It's like, oh no, you don't need this, you don't need that. It's like, oh yeah, but you do. What about you? You know, you're doing this, you're doing that. Oh no, it's just a luxury. It's like, oh, right. It's like, it's funny how people keep claiming, like, utopia and everything. They're like, oh yeah, we'll make this an amazing place, and we'll do this, and we'll do that, but no one ever does. And every time somebody tries to, they always end up going missing. It's like some sort of accident happens, or out of somewhere someone's claiming that they did this whenever they were that, or some other stupid thing. I'm like, alright, well, I wonder what they're gonna like say if I ever make it big and then I start making some big changes. I'm just like, no, we're gonna do it this way now. Alright, sit down. It's like, I got this. Because I am in no means a greedmonger. I view money as what it is. It's just a tool. Am I going to grab a hammer and sit there and cherish it like it's, you know, I know what it does. I can take nails out. I can bang things into place. I can, well, you know, like whenever you have something slightly askew and then you gotta like just tap it a little bit, it just needs that little bit of pressure. And then, you know, hammer nails in. It can do a lot of things. I mean, but I'm not gonna sit there, bow down, and worship it. I'm gonna appreciate the tool for what it does, what it is, and what I can do with it. I'm not gonna go crazy. Oh, hammer. Oh, it's the most amazing thing ever. Oh no, you can't touch my hammer. Grrr, rawr. Same thing with a screwdriver. Or flipping a bicycle. You know how many times people have stolen my bicycles? Holy flip. Yeah, I still had to like use money just to get another one. It's a tool. Just a tool. Alright, let me pop that. I'll pop this one too. Alright. So, I don't want to pop that down anymore because there could be lava there. But, dude, I don't know what happens to people. Well, they get money and then they just go kind of flaccid. I mean, technically that's what it's like. They just, their morals just go down and it's just, you can't do anything with them. Yeah, it was meant to be that much of a joke and I'm going on with it. And it's just, really? It's like this is what this is now? This is, it's like, oh goody, yay, you got money. What are you gonna do with it? It's mine, it's all mine. It's like, okay, so what are you gonna do with the extra? There's no extra! There's only mine, and it's like, wow, and another greedmonger is born. It's like, flip. It's really? It's like, what the hell is, I don't understand. It's a tool. It's used to buy some stuff. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, you're gonna buy yourself a bunch of purses. Okay, whatever. Okay, you're gonna buy yourself a bunch of cars. You're only one person. Why the flip do you need that many cars? Even if you were to get one for every day of the week, why the hell would you need that many cars? I can understand 2 cars, 3 at the most. Do you have a child that is above the age of 16? That is why you could get a 3rd one. You know, one for you, one for your mate, and then if you're having if you have a child that old and you want it to be nice, yeah, okay, I can understand a 3rd. But other than that, what? Why? And then like, oh my goodness, these people with their mansions. No, I would not get a mansion. Eesh. First off, I'm gonna live in the middle of nowhere. I'm not gonna give anybody my address. I'm not going to give anybody any way of finding me. And if you did find me, it's possibly hacking all of my stuff, which would be like kind of really stupid, and I might have a job for you after this. And then, but, well, you know, hey, you could maybe work security. Like, actually, security. It's like if you can hack into something like that and track somebody down that way, you could maybe be an asset to certain, you know, companies or whatnot. But anyways, don't do stuff like that. It's not nice. I don't expect anyone to listen to me about that, but for the kids who are like, oh yeah, I'll be a super spy and whatnot, don't do it. You might get yourself into some trouble. You need to find yourself a Mr. Miyagi of that type of world, and then possibly listen to them, because they're going to keep you from getting tracked. Possibly. Who knows? Or they might just, you know, get bored one day and decide that they want to see you go to jail. It could go either way. But possibly, I might be able to stay hidden long enough to do some really nice things, and it could be fun. I mean, I'm not doing anything. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to build some houses. Well, buildings. I'm gonna build some buildings, and it's just going... I'm gonna be getting into real estate, that's all. Anyways. But anyways, that's it. So, that's if I can get back on my feet, and that's if I can continue my research and my learning so that I can create something so I can make lots of money and then use that money to do some good stuff with. And yeah, eventually I'll have to hire some bodyguards. Because, you know, with fame, you get, I don't want to say weirdos, but you get people who are like, why not me? I want stuff and I haven't worked for it, kind of thing. Well, you do. I don't understand those types of people. Like, okay, so let me give you a for instance. There was this one female who ended up, okay, so she loved her friend, alright? She thought her friend loved her, and she was taking her friend on tour. Her friend was her manager, and she left, because she wanted to keep her friend close, because she loved her friend, and her friend loved her. Well, her friend ended up getting jealous of her and wanting to steal her life. Even though she's being paid well and good and everything, she just had something in her that snapped. And when that happened, she ended up taking her friend's life, and it did not bode well for both of them, because not only did one lose her life, but the other had ended up going to jail because of this. So she was not able to steal her friend's life because everybody has a flippin' number, everybody has a damn you know, the social security number and whatnot that we have over here. It's hard to fake what is that called? Fake somebody's personality, or not personality. What is that called? Identity. It's hard. I was like, got words. I can. Yes. But it's hard to keep. Well, to contend with somebody else's identity, especially when someone as famous as her had her life had been taken, and she was trying to take over her life, but everybody saw through it immediately because, again, she was so famous, and because everybody already knew who both of them were. And it's like, it was a pretty damn messed up story, and it was like, alright, so if you can't trust your friends, who can you trust? it's like, it makes you a little weird. Like, is that going to happen to someone who gets famous and whatnot? And does it happen to everyone who gets famous? And it's like, I don't want the fame, but I need to be able to sell my product. So fame might come with that, and I'm not a fan. I was like, can I just not be famous but yet still sell things? It's like I kinda like living sometimes, you know. There's ice cream and some other things that I'm fond of. Cotton candy. Um, you know, the good stuff. Alright, I think I was working my way this way. But suffice to say, it is a pretty good thing to be able to hire people for like your fame, because they're gonna keep the angry fans away, as well as the over enthusiastic fans who think that they can do certain things to people even though they have not earned the right to be able to do certain things to people. Like with this there's a certain level of danger that comes with this. Like, people know what I look like, they know what I sound like. Lots of deep fakes can actually be made with this. They can sit there and say, oh, hey, I'm a poo-poo head, and da-da-da-da. Or, yeah, that's probably going to be a meme. You're welcome. And then, because sometimes I can be. It's like, especially when I get angry. Whoops. Did not mean to take that off of that. But with like further on, I know I'm not always going to look like this. I will age. I will continue to change as my body tries to contend with the aging. And I'm fine with that. I'm really excited about the gray hair. I like the white hair, gray hair. I'm wondering what the gold's gonna turn into. Is it gonna turn into like a silver, a silvery color? Is it gonna stay gold? What is gonna happen with that? So just out of my curiosity, I'm wanting to live. It's like, what color is the hair gonna turn? Alright, I need to see this through. But yeah, and then there's the ice cream, because like, dude, if they outlaw ice cream, I will go on a rampage. I am legit serious. Don't you dare outlaw ice cream. Holy flip. It's like, I don't care if somebody calls themselves a legit god and whatnot and sits there and like, no more ice cream, and I'm gonna be like, how do you want to go out? Just how do you want to go out? It's like, what, you're going to, you know, attack me for ice cream? Yes. I will make my own ice cream, but holy flip, you will not outlaw ice cream. This is one of the few things that make me happy. It's one of the few things, not the only thing, dude. There's also cake. And other things. I'm not trying to get all mushy about certain subjects, because then I'll get sad, because then I'll miss and I'll long for, and I'll be even more ho-hum. than I already am right now, because now I've already went down that little circuit of flip. Anyways, now so but I do have high hopes. But yeah, there are some dangers to. Ooh, I almost missed that. So, to streaming, to being on OnlyFans, to, no, I don't have one. To being on Patreon, to being on like other media platforms. I was like, why can't I pick this up? Why for thou not be able pick up? Thank you. So famous gamers, the females and the males, will get harassed by certain people who don't know that personal space is a thing, and that how would you like your personal space encroached upon. So they have to hire bodyguards and people to keep them safe while they're making content and doing other things, which in certain regards there are some female streamers out there who have been abused very badly, and I hope and wish them well, that they can get over these traumas. And I am very sad that those things had happened. I would not wish that on my worst enemy. And some of these things had happened at one of those, like, those ECOMs, EA game, like those gaming events. And I was like, wow, that is horrible. They had legit no security for these people. That's worrisome on its own accounts. I don't understand the I heard a lot of people say that they brought it on themselves, and I was like, who ever brings that on themselves? Who? And it was like, oh, well, you know, there are certain, like, things that you know are going to happen if you're doing this or that. I'm like, what? No. No. Nobody brings that on themselves. That is a conscious decision by somebody else to do that to someone else. Not for them. To them. And it's like, wow. I can't even. When males start talking like that, they are not safe males. They are really not safe males. That's someone you want to distance yourself from completely. Like, run. They brought that on themselves. Mother flip. Oh, flip. Oh, flip, flip. Sorry, I'm already angry again. Flip. I'm trying not to get angry. But I couldn't believe that he just sat there and said that like that. And I was just like, what? like, dude. Dude. I went about asking them, what if, like, there were, you know, flipping 4 guys that came after you? What if there were, like, 5 guys? Like, oh, you better, like, learn how to protect yourself and blah, blah, blah. I was like, what? I was like, do you see the size of these people? And then, like, you better learn. Like, anyone could overpower some of these people. It's like, there's enough males, they could overpower me. I'm like, dude, I carry a knife, yeah. I'm not shy about that knife. I will drop somebody if they put me in a threatening position, because I have the right to do so. I'm not gonna go wielding it all willy-nilly and whatnot. And I'm not going to sit there and like, hey, if you even think about this, I'm gonna take you out. I'm gonna keep my knife handy, and if I feel threatened, like life or death threatened, I'm going to use it appropriately. Whoops, I possibly shouldn't be putting that down right there. And I was just like, wow. So I went about asking some hypothetical questions towards this person, and they just sat there and was like, oh no, it never happened. I was like, okay, well, what about if it was 4 guys? And they were like, oh, no, that never happened. And I was like, what if they beat you down and they wanted to make you suffer? And it was just like, nope, never happened, you know? And I'm like, I was like, it could happen. It could happen to anyone. And would you have asked for it? And he was like, well, no, I'm a male. And I was like, well, yeah. I was like, it still applies. I mean, they're female. They're not sitting there asking for it. Nobody's asking for that. Oh, hey, look at that. Whoops. Dude, I don't want to get in this subject, but I feel like I have to get in this subject. when a grown adult starts talking to you, and they start asking you for like you know, to not talk to your parents about something, don't listen to them. Your parents right now are your lifeline, all right? They are your lifeline. They're the ones who are supposed to be protecting you, keeping you safe, warm and cuddly in your flippin' homes, okay? If your parents are not keeping you safe and warm and cuddly in your home, then there's something wrong. Tell a teacher, tell another adult, all right? But if there are adults, adult males, adult females, it doesn't matter what sex, you know, transvestites, I don't care. If there are adults telling you that you should stop listening to your parents and that you should stop, like flipping, they're trying to single you out from your parents, there's a problem. There's a mass problem with that. And it puts like massive alert, like holy F, something's wrong kind of alert going on. So this person who had also seen this like red flag, this massive alert, had went about making a comment about this, and I fully felt the same way she did, alright? She was like, this isn't right, this is wrong, oh, this is creepy, you know, he shouldn't be, like, talking to little kids like this, and it's become a little internet thing, and then anybody who disagrees with this is some sort of a transphobe, and no, we're just people against grooming. Like this really interesting person who is a part of the Gays Against Grooming, which, like, dude, I'm really happy that they have that, was like, yeah, this is a sick F, and, you know, they should take him off of all platforms because he is trying to groom. And I was like, I was like, why are they banning everybody who keeps saying anything about this? I was like, are they themselves trying to groom? Like, I don't mean like grooming for animals. I mean like grooming for like kids. That's pretty damn mucked up. That's super mucked up. That they're sitting there standing behind somebody who is clearly trying to keep children from getting advice from their parents, and dude, you're going to kill me. Should I worry about you too? Holy flip. Anyways, so who's trying to, you know, force kids away from their parents just so that they can what? They were like, oh, your parents are wrong. They did this and they did that. They told you that there were only two genders. Yeah, there are. Okay? Okay, so, here, let's talk about this then. There are two genders, like biology, okay? And this is from somebody who never took biology. So, yeah, I have a lot of weight behind that. But, archaeologists, okay, are able to tell a skeletal structure, a female, from a male because of the, and people in the medical field. Ooh, you know? People who study bones and whatnot, forensics, those, as well as orthopedic Sergeant, I think orth. Those are the ones that play with the bones, right? Orthos. Anyways, so there are people out there who know 100% fact, all right, that there are ways to tell a female from a male just by looking at the skeletal structure. We're built different. Males are built with wider, well, it's less. Okay, so females are built with more of a circular type of cavity within their hip, and their hips are denser. And hold on, let's pull up a pic. That should be fun. All right, so I'll point to it too. It should be fun, like a little teaching lesson. Be adorable. All right, so skeletal system, male. Hold on, let's get the actual word. Male versus female. Okay. That one's fake. Alright, so alright, these ones look okay. Just make sure there's nothing else showing on here that would be like a bad thing. Okay, so found a picture. Here we go. Look at that. Isn't that nifty? Alright, so we'll pop this one. Alright, look at that. Okay, women have smaller frontal lobe. You see that? That part of the skull? Look at that. The male have a bigger one. Women also have smaller temporal bones, like our chin bone. Sorry, the temporal is back here, but then the chin bone is mandible. Alright, so then we have larger, rounder pelvis inlet, where males have a smaller one because they're not passing a baby through that area. They're not housing a baby in this area. And I don't know what an ilium more flare. Okay, I guess that's that part right there. Ours, like females, are wider and denser. Okay, so the pelvis is tipped forward, causing greater curvature of lower spine. We have a larger, rounder pelvic area. I just heard something. Give me a second. I'm checking. Okay, we're good. We're good. All right. Well, while I'm here, let me just throw that in here. And then the center of gravity is a lot, well, not a lot lower, just a smidge lower than what the males are. And then due to the size of our hips and whatnot, we have a more of a curved in. Something about our elbows too are a bit different, because we angle this way versus, like, whenever you see a male walking, they're more like straight, and when you see a female walking, it's more like, you know, kind of that way, but like less. Anyways, so shorter long bones. I think that's damn it, I can't remember if it's tibia or fibula. I don't remember. Damn it. Anyways, so then females also have an increased Q angle. I have no idea what that is. I guess it's the curvature, because it goes more slant. So that makes males faster runners. Alright, their bodies most males who do run are faster runners. A woman who has trained her whole life running versus a male that doesn't run, yes, you're faster, okay? Alright? But if you go against another male who has trained their whole lives running, they're gonna beat you hands down. Just because of the way that they're designed. It's nothing personal, it's stupid, I know. And yeah. Alright, so let's just click off of that and we'll look at this one. Alright, so it's a femur. The fibula is okay. It's on that side, tibia and fibula. Alright, so the hips are definitely different. The shape of the skull is different. The space in between the neck and the what is that called? The neck to shoulder ratio is different. Males have a wider, broader neck to shoulder ratio than a female does. That's another way to do it. So if you can put your thumb like in between someone at a distance, if you can put a thumb and a half, that means that they're male. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Also look at the hands. But if you can put a thumb and a half and your thumb is still like in between their neck to shoulder ratio at a distance, then it's possibly a male because you can't change your skeletal structure. Yeah, you see the smaller, larger. And if you a female should have like maybe just a thumb in between that, but if it's longer, like more than just a thumb, you know, I don't want to say run, but you know, hey, you know, you do what you feel is a safe thing to do. Don't maybe not entertain them. You know. I mean, granted, some females have bigger heads than others, but it's not my issue. I can care less whether you're a female or a male, just as long as you're nice. I'm just looking for friends. I forgot to make some, what are those things called? Pickaxes. Whoops. So I don't have to move them later. I'm just going to move these down like this. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll just make another one of these. Set that here. Alright. Now where did we leave off? But yeah, there's two different like two different skeletal structures. Our genetics are different. The way we smell is a bit different too, because males will release certain types of pheromones and females will release certain types of pheromones. Sad but true, you can't really change certain aspects of yourself, because these pheromones are designed to help us find mates. It's one of those long-standing things that, no matter how much you change yourself, it's I'm looking for gold. I'm not looking really for the ancient debris, but I am finding a lot of it, which is kind of nice. It is that time, though. Let me just clip this stuff really quick, and then... Alright. So, saving and quitting. I need to sleep too, so... I should possibly be sleeping more. But, things and stuff and things. Honey, I grew the bees. Wait, so did they make the bees bigger? And who you calling honey, sugar pie? Sorry, anyways. So, yeah, have a good night and the day or whenever you're watching this. Could be in the future. This is way in the past, or maybe just slightly in the past. Ooh, back from the past. Have a good one, alright? So, yeah. Alright, bye-bye.